Hello, Fight Insight fans, viewers, and listeners. I'm the Filipino podcasting machine, Princey D, and with me, as always, the man formerly known as Timbo Slice, Timmy B. Before we start, please take a moment to subscribe to us on YouTube and hit that bell. If you'd like to support the show, check out middaysquares.com and save 15% by using code FIGHTINSIGHT15. On today's episode, we talk to our first ever UFC title challenger, setting on crushing a cupcake, give our thoughts on what went down at UFC 275, break down Kattar versus Emmett, and a whole lot more. Tim, hit it.
Yeah, it's Timmy B, Princey D, Fight Insight. Yeah, that's right.
All right, Prince, your mic is a little bit low, but our guest today grew up in small town Alaska, and in 2009, while taking her son to a jiu-jitsu class, realized that she liked it too, and in less than a year finds herself fighting her first pro fight. She then goes 8-0, winning the Alaska Fighting Championship Featherweight Championship, the Alaska Cage Fighting Featherweight Championship, and the Invicta Bantamweight title. A contestant on Tough 26, she enters the UFC, and following a 5-fight win streak from 2019 to 21, she earns herself a shot at the Flyweight title. Now, on July 2nd, she welcomes Miesha Tate to the Flyweight division at the stacked UFC 276 card during International Fight Week in Las Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're getting lucky. You're getting lucky. Everybody's getting lucky. Please welcome to the podcast,
Lucky Lauren Murphy.
What up?
How you doing, Lauren?
That was an awesome intro. Thank you.
Hey, how's everything?
Really good. I just got done at practice, so that's why I was late today. Sorry about that, but practice went over. We had a bunch of stuff to go over, so
No
what
worries.
it is.
You are in full fight camp mode?
Yeah. So like it's hard to catch me right now because literally my whole day revolves around like beating Miesha Tate. You know?
Like, Lauren, do you have like a picture of her and like on your wall there, like you're constantly like, punching it and stuff?
No, because when I say my day revolves around beating Miesha Tate, I just try to improve myself. So, I actually haven't listened to none of her interviews.
No, doesn't matter. Now, Lauren, I got to ask you a question. Why is your name not Lauren when preparation meets opportunity Murphy?
Well, that's what luck is.
Exactly.
We shortened it down, you know.
But okay, it just goes better with the Lauren. Is that it?
Yeah.
Because like your whole life, I mean, pretty crazy. I said it in the intro. I mean, you started the sport at a later age than most, probably, right?
Yeah.
Get into it later, but you've just like steady progress, incredible run through UFC. You must be so happy with the way your life turned out. I mean, did you ever think you'd be like this?
No, come on, no way. Yeah, I mean, I do. I have a great life. I've spent most of my adult life. Well, I wouldn't say most of my adult life, but a large portion of my adult life being a professional athlete, which is so far removed from what like I ever would have imagined for myself. And to spend it in the UFC. I mean, I've been in the UFC almost a decade now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a stint there at 135, which didn't go too well for me. But it's like I had only trained for like 4 years when I got into the UFC, you know, and I was fighting title contenders right off the bat. And so it's like I was thrown into the deep end of the pool, but I learned how to swim, you know, I did learn how to swim. And when the Ultimate Fighter came around at 125, is like I fought out my contract at 135, and I was pretty bummed about it. I was like, shit. You know, like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. But, like, I'm so lucky because then just, like, a few months later, they were having the tough tryouts at Flyweight. And I was like, oh, my God, that's perfect because I don't really cut weight to get to 135, you know. Mm-hmm. And, I was like, this is it. This is my chance. And so I went on the Ultimate Fighter and, like, I fell flat on my face on the Ultimate Fighter. That went really badly. But still, like, because I'm so lucky, like it all worked out in the end. Everything came full circle and like everything just worked out for me the best that it possibly could. And honestly, that's how I got my nickname, because it's like sometimes shit happens, like everybody has shit happen in their life. But for me, the worst things have always turned into the best things.
It's amazing. Wow.
So Lauren, actually, let me ask you, so can you eat like a Big Mac and still make weight?
At 135, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at 125, no.
All right.
Yeah.
You mentioned your time on Tough and how there was that weight class that was perfect. Tough 30 is going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, the number 3 ranked flyweight. Do you watch that show at all and go, oh, here's fresh meat that I'm going to be beating up soon? Or like, are you like, oh, I got to be worried about these up and comers? Or do you just not even?
I don't really think about it like that. I watched Claire Guthrie's fight because
Yeah.
I'm here in Denver training with Claire. And that was like one of the best fights I've ever seen on The Ultimate Fighter. I'm so proud of her, you know.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was
so
great.
badass. But I just like watching it as a fight fan. You know, I think that The Ultimate Fighter, like, it's like, it's okay at introducing people to the public, but you have to remember it's a reality TV show. And like
Yeah.
reality TV is not reality. It's not. Like, just from being on there, I know there's so much stuff that happens that doesn't make it on air. They they tend to chop things up and put them in whatever order they want, and they definitely have to have like storylines to keep people interested.
Yeah.
So when I was on The Ultimate Fighter, they were really set in this like format where they had like one villain of the season,
Oh yeah.
like one hero of the season, and it was like whoever won the show, they would get portrayed in a good light, kind of no matter what. Like, no, they could be the biggest jack off and still like get a ton of really good press, you know.
Yeah.
But as you know, if they could fight, that's what it was about. It was like the UFC's looking for people that can fucking fight. But since I was on The Ultimate Fighter, like, there was a girl, I think she was Japanese, a Japanese reality TV star. She was a pro wrestler.
Yes,
and,
I know about this.
Yeah, and she actually committed suicide.
Yeah.
Like, directly because of the hate that she got from a reality TV show that was a lot like The Ultimate Fighter, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it caused kind of a big stir, I think, in the wrestling community and in the MMA community, and certainly on like these reality TV show communities. And so ever since then, I noticed The Ultimate Fighter really got away from like villainizing people.
You know, it's funny that you say that, Lauren. Sorry to cut in. I did hear about that story. I forget the girl's name, but yeah, that was a terrible story. And it's funny because we had Caitlin Neal, who's on Tough 30 now. She's going into the semis. We interviewed her a few weeks ago, and we jokingly said, because she was such a nice girl, we said, "Oh, are you going to be the villain of the show?" You know, and she's like, "No." But you're right. Recently, the Tough seasons have really just been about, hey, here's this person's backstory, here's this person's life, and then here's the fights. Like, you don't get a lot of drama. Like, there's not a lot of interaction of the people in the house anymore, stuff like that. It all seems to be gone. And I wonder if it's because of what you said.
I think so. I think because it was like, even after The Ultimate Fighter, I got so much bad press and so much hate. And it was really weird because it was like I was friends with most of the girls that came out of that season. It was like I was mostly friends. Like, I still have relationships with women that I was on that season with that I'm still friends with them to this day. Like Shauna Dobson and Montana De La Rosa. Like Emily Whitmire and I were like good friends for a long time after the show.
Nice.
And so it was confusing because I was like, I'm not the biggest piece of shit. Like, I'm a good person. And to be like kind of portrayed like that, I was like, what the fuck? And it was hard to get all that hate. And I remember, like, sometimes I'll see the producers like around the UFC PI or something like that, and they know how I feel about them. I'll literally be like, fuck you, you know. Which of course is why they portrayed me in that light, which of course is why they were like, maybe I have to be the villain. But when the suicide happened, I wish I could remember that woman's name right now.
Yeah.
When that suicide happened, I made a post about it, and I tagged some of the producers in it because it was like, hey, what you guys do has a real effect on real people. Like, this is real life. Reality TV is not real life. So you're taking something that is not real, you're making it real, and it's actually affecting people's lives here and like our well-being, you know? And
Lauren, her name is Hannah Kimura.
Hannah Kimura, that's right.
Kimura. And I will say one thing. I know a guy personally in my personal life who was on The Bachelorette. He was one of the guys. And he was portrayed kind of badly. But what I'll say is different about that is when you're going into a reality show like that, like The Bachelorette or those kind of things, you're going there for some type of fake fame, right? To kind of play a character, even though you're real, it's kind of fake. For you guys, you're fighters going on there to pursue your dream of getting into the UFC and being a fighter. It's not as fake as those other reality shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People, it was kind of crazy because I did get so much hate during that time period. And then, like women would come up to me and they'd be like, "Hey, I loved you on the show." And I was like, "Cool, you know, that's cool." And now, especially since like putting some wins together and getting a title shot and going through all of that, now people come up to me all the time and they're like, "Hey, we loved you on the show." And I'm like, "Where were you then when I was getting all this bad press?" You know?
Yeah. No, that's crazy. No, that's right. Okay. But I got to ask you in terms of your bad girl image. And although you seem so nice, and before we started the podcast, I said like one of the reasons why I love Lucky Lauren Murphy is the way that you have your post-fight interviews and stuff like that. You're such a, like, just when you were saying, "Hey, I want my title shot," and you were being really positive. Like, I just love that vibe. And meeting you now, right? Your personality is great. But
you.
I got to ask you something tough. I know you don't, well, it seemed like you did not, you're not a big fan of Caitlin Chukagian. You had some drama with her before.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got, I don't want to drudge that up, but I got to ask you, Caitlin Chukagian versus Amanda Hebas. That was a bullshit fight. Why is the number 1 or number 2 ranked girl fighting a number 9 strawweight? Were you...
I think the UFC is just looking for challengers to mix it up at 125 for Valentina Shevchenko. And so it's like now we're going to serve in the top 5 people that have already lost to Valentina. And like in my case and in Caitlin's case, like the fights were not close, you know? So here we are. We beat a bunch of people in the division.
You're right. Cleaned up everything else.
Yeah, we've made, you know, we're at the top of the division. But we couldn't beat the champ. Like, couldn't even come close to beating the champ. And so it sucks to say this, but it's like now you have to either be a gatekeeper or show that you've improved. It has to be one of the two. And I think in Caitlin's case, she has not shown that she has improved. Like, she can beat a lot of people. She's going to definitely decision a lot of women. She's like a very good striker. She's very long, like, but it's true. It's like people always bitch about like how she doesn't finish fights and how she's always doing the same shit. And so the UFC is not going to put her back in there with Valentina because what has she done to show that she's a different fighter, that fight is going to go any differently than it did the first time?
Yeah, but what, okay, but she's fighting a number 9 ranked strawweight. What did they think that Hebas was going to beat her and then get a title shot? Because wouldn't you be pissed? You'd be like, well, wait, like why is a strawweight coming in and getting another title shot? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but Caitlin does it to herself because like she doesn't want to fight anybody that she's already fought, right? So that eliminates almost the entire top 10. Right? I mean, she doesn't want to fight anybody she's already fought. Yeah. And so, yeah, that takes away a lot of options for the UFC to give her. I mean, I think she fought Jennifer Maia, and that was a rematch. She beat Jennifer Maia twice, right? And it was like, whoopty shit. Like, who cares? You know, nobody cares. When Caitlin fights, nobody cares. But if somebody beats her, then they have a legitimate claim to go in and fight Shevchenko. You know,
I know, but that's kind of it was just crazy. And then Hebas out of nowhere. I don't know. I was so mad at that, Lauren. Like, it just made no sense to me.
Yeah, a lot of people were. They were like, what the fuck? You know, but imagine if Hebas had gotten that decision.
It was very close.
Like,
It was close.
Then you would be like, well, here's this chick that came in and beat the number 1 contender a weight class up. Maybe the weight cut, maybe the skill set, maybe this, maybe that. She's marketable. She's pretty. Like, maybe with her takedowns, she could get, you know, Shevchenko to the mat. So maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if the next fight I see is you fighting some like atomweights, I mean, just
I would love that.
Break.
Yes, set it up. I will fight some children. I would love that.
Lauren would be taking 2 at a time. She's like, okay, 2 you guys, right? That's it.
Yeah. How many? Okay, here's a question. How many atomweights at one time could you fight?
Oh gosh, 5 or 6, I guess. I mean, you know.
Just
But
Lauren,
we're talking. I mean,
lucky.
like, you know, which atom weights are we talking about
Yeah,
here?
no,
So-
unranked atom weights, like local atom weights. I'll just find some around
oh,
some around the
definitely,
street.
yeah, 6 or 7, yeah, for sure, yeah.
All right, that's going to be a good pay-per-view, Prince. Okay, I want to ask, okay, so you're fighting, divisional newcomer Miesha Tate. Big fight for you. I really love this fight for you. I think this is a great matchup. It's a high-profile fight. Holy moly! Like,
Yeah.
no offense, but to me, I'd much rather watch Lauren Murphy versus Miesha Tate than Valentina versus Taylor Santos. Right?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate.
You know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
Like these are two big names. This is a good fight. It seems like it's going to be competitive. What is, you're excited for this. This was a good fight for you. You're happy, obviously.
Yeah.
What if she misses weight?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to. Has Miesha ever missed weight?
Well, she's never fought at flyweight though.
She never fought at flyweight, but she's professional. She's working hard. She don't want to embarrass herself by missing weight, and then that takes a title shot completely off the table. Even if she wins, like, then it's like, no, you're not getting a title shot off of that, because you can't miss weight and then expect a title shot. That's fucking crazy. Like, you have to make flyweight to challenge for the flyweight title, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think she's gonna miss. I don't think that's gonna happen. If she does miss, then she's got to pay me a bunch of money, and we'll just have to see how it goes. Because, like, are we talking like half a pound weight miss, or are we talking like a 6 pound weight miss? So it's one of those things where it's like, you gotta just take it as it comes. We'll see how I feel about it if and when it happens. But yeah, I'm really in this headspace where I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna worry about it. Like, why worry about a thing that could never materialize? It's like, what if a comet hits the Earth the Thursday before the fight? What if that happens? That makes as much sense to ask that as it does, like, what if Miesha misses weight?
I feel like Miesha missing weight is closer to probability than an asteroid hitting Earth, but that's fine. I'm not a scientist, but I don't know.
Never say never, Timmy. Never say never. We never.
Yeah. All right. Another question I'll ask. Valentina has come out and said, like, hey, if Miesha wins, maybe that's a title shot that happens next. But Valentina is also talking about going up to bantamweight to challenge for a title as a flyweight contender, number 3 ranked. Does that annoy you when your champ is going to waste time fighting at the higher weight class? Like, or does that doesn't bother you? Hey, I just beat up whoever I beat up.
Yeah, not at all. Like, I'm just focused on what's in front of me, and what's in front of me is Miesha Tate right now, right? And so that's really all I'm worried about. And it'll be some time before Valentina and I face each other again anyway. So in the interim, it's like, I can't be all worried about what Valentina's thinking or what her plans are or what she wants to do, because, like, she ain't even lined up for that fight. There's a title fight happening at bantamweight July 30th. And this sport is so nuts. Like, that is one thing that I took to heart after The Ultimate Fighter, that is, like, literally fucking anything could happen. Anything could happen. And so to be irritated about something that somebody's talking about that might never materialize is a waste of things to be irritated about, in my opinion.
Prince, Lauren is very eloquent in her speech. I always feel like you're such a motivational speaker, and I'm just going to ask you a couple of fan questions that we got. One is from @starfin56. Lucky Lauren Murphy has overcame so many obstacles in her life and succeeded. She's money on the mic. She's got a great personality. Are you doing motivational speaking or talking to youth?
I have done it before. I'm definitely not against it. Yeah, I have done it before, but honestly, I tried to make a difference. Like, when I'm at home in Houston, I started like a women's jiu-jitsu class, and it's free and it's open to any woman in the community.
Nice.
Like, any woman can come in and learn some self-defense and learn some jiu-jitsu and have fun and meet other women and get in shape. I think doing things like that is a good way to reach the community. You know, I try to, like, when I'm in the gym, I try to be a good teammate. I try to be like a kind person. When my other teammates are fighting and they're nervous about their fights, like, then I think it's like a better service to talk to them. I'm definitely not against going to a school or a meeting, and I have done those things before, but I find that the effect is like, what do I want to say? There's less of an effect, you know, when I do those kinds of things. It's a little less personal. So
Yeah.
I do try to make a difference, but I make it maybe a little bit closer to home.
That's nice. No, I like that. I love that. And are you still doing those classes now?
Well, I'm in Denver, so actually I handed the
for training
class,
camp.
the women's class. It's being run by a woman who's a very good brown belt and a police officer in Sugar Land, Texas. And so she's leading the women's class right now, and it's growing and people are loving it. And so, you know, it's I think it's a good service for her to do at this point, and she's growing so much from it, and she's a real leader. So
nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's
And
a million ways.
can you give a shout out? What gym is that? Like, if anyone's in the area.
Oh yeah, so it's at the Henzo Gracie, and in Sugar Land. It's called Henzo Gracie Houston, but it's in Sugar Land, and it's the main Henzo Gracie in Houston, Texas. So that's badass. It's every Sunday at 9 a.m. And then at 10 a.m., there's a big open mat. It's the best open mat in Houston that you can go to. And so if you want to train, it's like on Sunday morning, you get up, you have your coffee. If you're a female, you can go in. It's totally free. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to even be a part of the school. It's open to any woman that wants to go, any experience level. You can go in there. You're going to train with just women for an hour. And then after that, it's open to everybody, men, women, all shapes, sizes, sexes, whoever can come in from 10 to 12. So it's a great day to train on a Sunday at Henzo Gracie Houston. Yeah, y'all should check it out. BJJ practitioners or total novices. Like, it's a good day to go train.
That's awesome.
Lauren, has anybody ever gone up to you and said, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for all the stuff that you taught me and you've changed my life. Has anyone ever gone up to you and said, like, man, some of the things that you taught me has been like life altering?
I don't know about life altering. People do thank me though, you know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If they did, it's like I just be like, yep, cool, because I like, seriously, because jiu-jitsu is like that. Like,
yeah,
for me, I've had so many great jiu-jitsu instructors you know, I've been doing it for 12 years now. And like, for me, when I think about it, I was a high school dropout. I was a teenage mom. I was a drug addict. I was, I smoked a pack of cigarettes a day and I lived in a small town. I was like a stereotype. I was literally a fucking stereotype. And I walked into a jiu-jitsu gym one day and it changed my life. And like, that's not an exaggeration. That's not hyperbole. I'm not making that up. When I say this, I mean it 100%, that every good thing I have in my life is because I walked into a jiu-jitsu gym one day. And that includes my relationship with my son. It includes my marriage. It includes like my views on hard work. It's helped me become a better person inside and out, not just a better athlete, but like a better person inside. And so when I say that jiu-jitsu changed my life, and every good thing that I have in my life is because of jiu-jitsu, that is the absolute truth. And I think that jiu-jitsu changes a lot of lives. I think that's available to anybody that wants it. And that's not because of me. All I'm doing is like carrying the message. You know what I mean? I'm just like a messenger. And so I've had so many great instructors and coaches, people that like might not even be in my life anymore, but they're going to live in my heart forever and ever. And I may or may not be that to somebody, but I'm not trying to be that to somebody. All I'm trying to do is tell you the truth. And the truth is that jiu-jitsu changes lives. Jiu-jitsu changed my life.
Lauren, talk about motivational talking. Like I was like getting choked up, Tim. I don't know what
Yeah,
you
this is what I'm
that was
saying, Lauren.
cool. Wow.
Yeah, so Starfin is correct. You need to be doing that as a motivational. But I appreciate what you're saying in terms of like the interpersonal, the closeness of it being where you are. So, Lauren, we've kept you a little bit longer.
Yes.
Congratulations on all your success. If I'm a betting man, how am I betting that Lauren Murphy wins? Is it knockout, submission? What is the if I
I
got
will
parlay this?
definitely be looking for a finish. I will definitely be looking for a finish in this fight. I think that
Yes.
I have a lot of options, and I'm excited to go out and show the world that I learned a lot from that loss. You know, from that loss to Valentina, I did learn a lot, and
Yep.
I think my mission now is to go show what I've learned, and if I can do that and like live those lessons and show those lessons, then I'm not going to get stuck in that cycle where I'm just a gatekeeper fighting contenders. You know what I mean? I'm going to show that I've grown as a contender and that I still want to be the champion and that I still have the ability to be the champion.
You do, Lauren. You are not lucky. You are a student of the game. You are a true athlete, a true professional. We wish you all the best, Lauren. This is going to be a huge fight. We are behind you 1,000,000%. And
thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. And thank you for letting me be late. Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. And before you go, one last thing. The worst thing about Brian Bam Bam Barberina.
Worst
The
thing.
worst thing. Oh, the worst thing about Brian Bam Bam Barberina is that he lives so far away. That's the worst thing about Brian. I don't get to see him enough. He and his wife are really wonderful people, and I don't blame him though. If I lived on the farm that they live on and that they've created, I would never leave that place either.
It's a beautiful life his wife and his children have, but he put us in touch with you. We are so appreciative to him. He's a huge friend of ours. Lauren, thank you so much for all your time, and best of luck, and we will see you with a title belt one day soon.
Ooh.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot.
See ya. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, buddy.
Wow.
Oh man, I'm so happy that she came.
Wow. You know what? I
wish
we filmed her coming in midway through the actual podcast. That would have been really cool. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So to the fans, viewers, and listeners, if you're here for Lucky Lauren Murphy, thank you so much for coming. Stick with us. We got tons of great episodes in the backlog, tons of great ones coming up. We're going to talk about a few different things now, Prince. But before we do, middaysquares.com. Go to middaysquares.com. Did you see how jacked Lauren looked? She looked good. She looked in shape. Middaysquares.com. Use code FIGHTINSIGHT15 to save 15%. Right? Functional, healthy chocolate bars. You'll figure it out. Prince, what do we have to talk about? Next week on the podcast, we have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu superstar, now LFA MMA fighter,
Jenna Bishop.
Jenna Bishop. If you do not know Jenna Bishop, go search her right now. You are welcome.
Oh man, guys,
you know what I'm saying, Prince. You're welcome.
Yes. Yeah,
you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You will know.
Prince, what else do we have to talk about? Friends of the podcast update. There's nothing really. I couldn't find anything that I had to talk about, but Smiling Sam, I did want to say thank you to Smiling Sam who showed up last week. This is what happened. So last week, Lauren was supposed to show up. Something happened. Her schedule got mixed up. She couldn't come. That's why we didn't have a guest last week. This week, she rescheduled. So here we are with Lucky Lauren. We got Jenna Bishop coming up the week following. The week after that, we have, I believe, Brian Bam Bam Barberina, Speak of the Devil, before his fight with Robbie Lawler. After that, we've got another Tough 30 competitor, Laura Giraldo. She was the sub-alternate in episode, I want to say 4, that won and is in the semis. We're actually having her on the podcast the day after her semifinal match airs. So
let's see what happens.
I mean,
fingers crossed. My God, big smiles on the face. Hopefully, she takes that up.
Now, hold on, Prince. Here's the reason why we can't be too hoping she wins. I mean, I do hope she wins, of course, but the predicament is I just friggin' realized she fights Caitlin Neal in the semis.
Oh man, that's like, well.
So two of our guests fighting one another, and we're gonna have her on after that fight. So hopefully, I mean, I wish them both the best, and I hope they both
Mhm.
get a contract, and I hope they both do well. Because look at Lauren. She did not win tough,
But
and
look at
she's
where
gone
she is
on to
now.
have an incredible career.
Yep.
Title contender, fighting now Miesha Tate. Like, that's the biggest fight you can have in flyweight if you're not fighting for the title. Fighting
Mhm.
Miesha Tate, right?
Yeah. So for this one, you know what? You pick one fighter, I pick the other. That's how we're gonna break it down.
I can't, man. I can't.
We have
All
to.
right,
We have to
Princey D, what are we talking about today? We're talking
talk
about
about.
UFC 275, right?
You want to skip that or just?
Why? Time wise, you got to go?
No, not time wise. Just
It was so terrible.
well, we lost.
Wait,
We set
all
the
right,
house.
so
Okay, let me
okay.
go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so let's go to that. First of all, it's not our fucking fault. Lauren was swearing so much, so I feel like I can swear now. This podcast is not PG, not PG. It's not our fucking fault that the judges scored it like that. There were a lot of people that thought this was a robbery. They
Oh yeah.
think Taylor Santos won rounds 1, 2, 3. It was close. I will say, though, the judge that gave it 49-46, meaning he gave 4 rounds to Valentina. That's kind of crazy. I don't know how you could see that. Prince, what did you think about the
It was
Valentina?
just like MMA Bird Box. Have you seen MMA Bird Box? How you can't like really look at things. You gotta like the one with Sandra Bullock. Absolutely that. Like it just doesn't make any sense. At the very end, that's the worst. I always think of the net when it comes to the decision. I'm like, it's never gonna go our way. Never. And when it went down to it, I'm like, I had a feeling that Valentina was gonna take it.
That
But
they were
you
going to
know
give it
what?
to her.
Yeah, just gonna give it to her. But you know what? Santos, I think she took it. Like that was just. It just made no sense to me at all, right? And so it was just too
Yeah.
bad. I don't know how the scoring, like what went down, like how they looked at it. I
Well,
even
you could
well,
see the
which time?
scorecards. You could see
Mhm,
the scorecards. So one judge gave Taylor first 3 rounds, right? That
mhm,
gave her the first 3, then gave Valentina the second 2. The other judge gave Taylor the first and the third, but not the second, right? So had
mhm.
she just won, so had that judge just given her the second round, that was going to be it. Then the 49-46, he only gave her the third. So that judge, it's like, okay, well, hold on, you didn't even give her the first. So that judge is out. That judge, who cares what he saw? Really, we were just looking at that second judge that didn't give her the second round. That's
Yeah.
where that made it or braked it.
Oh
I don't
my
know how to say that.
gosh.
That was tough, man. Frick, I would have been so rich.
Oh my
But
gosh. Like
but
you
at
said,
least we didn't lose a lot of money. But
no.
you know,
Let's
and anyone that did lose a lot of money, yeah, we told you not to do it. But Prince, Wei Li Zhang versus Joanna.
wow.
I forget where we went in the end. I think we ended up picking Wei Li. Well, I know we were back and forth, and I forget where we ended.
I think we were parlaying and we're saying that, anything can happen and we're gonna give it to Joanna.
No, I don't think. Anyways, I've got to go back and listen. But I know we were back and forth. The reason why I was not happy with Joanna, if you remember, was because I didn't
Yep.
like how friendly she was and all that
Yep.
crap. Okay. Now, Prince, here's my genius. Is the reason she was all friendly and stuff was because she has some sort of sense in her head that, hey, if I lose, I'm just going to retire anyways. And the minute you have that thought in your head,
You lost.
you've lost that mental edge. And so that's why you go back to when we had our body language expert Mark Bowden on the podcast. Go back and watch that. It's like episode 4 or something. And he says every fight you got to come in the exact same way. You got to have the same attitude, same stance, same clothing, same whatever. Like everything needs to be consistent. And so the fact that she goes in there like that is probably a reflection of her knowing she was going to retire.
Wow.
Attitude's off.
Hence the summer dress, the stilettos.
The summer dress, the look, the whatever, the vibe, it was not fitting. That's why I said it last week on the podcast. Prince, what did you think about the fight though in general?
Yeah, you know what? Wei Li just was going to town. It was, you know what? She was showing a clinic. Like when that came in, I was like, wow. I wasn't expecting the back fist, but when she landed it, oh my goodness, Wei Li! It's like she's back. Hey, I'm back. You know what I mean? I'm ready to take over this division, right? So, but the fight overall solid. Like no doubt of a chance. Like no doubt that Whaley was going to take that fight for sure.
Yeah, like you mean if she didn't knock her out, you think she was gonna
I think she was going to even submit her somewhere throughout the
do
round.
something.
She's going to finish her for sure, right? So
She was jacked.
to the teeth, like she was like ripped, solid.
Yeah, like not even flexing. Her arms were like just so like she looked good.
It's like
like way better than that. Princess,
and she's got to, and she's got to really keep that that haircut. That haircut.
I told you. I also said I like the haircut. I like the badass looking haircut. Way better than the short whatever she had before.
Yeah.
She looked good. She looked stylish. Yeah, man. You got to look good to feel good.
And she felt like she was loose. I felt like she was like she was loose. She was laid back. She was picking her shots, and she she had full control, right?
Her versus Esparza.
I think Whaley might be able to do it. I think Whaley might be able to do it, and possibly by a knockout. I think Whaley has it in it.
I mean, it will be sad for Carla because Carla lost the title on her first defense the last time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you look at the physiques of those two women,
yeah, that's a good
It's like night and day. You know what I mean? And that doesn't always mean everything because you don't need to be shredded and whatever to be an amazing fighter, to be an amazing wrestler, whatever. But holy moly, like Zhang looks like a different animal. Yeah, totally. That's tough. That's tough to give Carla that fight. Zhang looks strong.
Man, I want to know how many burpees she does a session. Like that's insane. Like nuts.
A jillion. Like crazy. Prince, the main event of the evening, Glover versus Jiri.
Wow, that was a really good main event. Like talk about like a roller coaster like ride, right? From first round to I think finished in the fourth, right?
Did you cry? No, the
I
fifth.
did.
It was the
fifth.
20,
sorry, the
20 seconds of the fifth round or whatever.
So the fifth, and it was just an emotional like, and I wasn't expecting Glover to put so much of a fight. I thought it was going to be just one sided, but man, like what?
Glover is crazy, dude. Like that, I told you that old man strength and just that knowledge and the veteran skills and I can't believe it. Now, here's the kicker: do they do a rematch? You almost have to. Like Glover was winning that fight up until the last 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Championship fight to defend his title.
Yep. Like it has to happen. You got to give it to him. And I think people would want to go and watch it again just because of that blockbuster ending. Like, it was just nuts. You thought Glover was going to take it. And everybody had their money on the bank on Erie. Everyone was like, yeah, he's going to take it. He's gonna
easy money.
Easy money. But
Smiling Sam said that. Smiling Sam was all over Jiri too, right? Said no way, Glover. But man, Glover showed us all that he could have done it.
Yeah, I mean, and did you see the homecoming that he got after he won?
Jiri,
it
was like 7,000 people in some parade or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh crap! You know what I totally forgot to do, Prince? I forgot to show Lauren Murphy this poster. Crap.
Social Squad's
you know what? Okay, don't blame me, but because she was late, I got kerfluffled. This poster, MMA Social Squad, kicked ass with this poster. We are going to send this to her right now. Wicked poster, and we'll put this up. So sorry that we forgot to show her.
4 aces in the middle. Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Okay, so Glover rematch. He's going to be.
It has to. Yeah, I think it just needs to happen. Yeah, I feel like that fans deserve it, and and Glover deserves it as well. And I just want to see it run it back just one more time, just to put the nail in the coffin, right?
Yeah, for sure. All right, buddy. Let's go to UFC, and here we go. MMA Social Squad. I am so sorry. Here's the poster for the event. Bam. That poster looks crazy cool. This is Kattar versus Emmett. Prince.
Wow, this card's actually pretty good.
This card is good.
Yeah.
In the interest of time, What fight? Oh, there's quite a few fights I want to talk about. All right, this is gonna be a 2-hour podcast. Prince, okay, let's go. Let's go to the. Oh, hold on. The main event of the prelims. This is important for MMA fans and social justice warriors alike. Maybe if you're a white supremacist.
Oh my god!
Adrian Yanez
Versus
defends
Tony
all
Kelly.
immigrants against Tony. They're just dirty Brazilians. Kelly.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be interesting. This is
It's
let's
an
see.
interesting move for UFC to put this as the main event of the prelims. You can't help but think UFC is capitalizing on the drama that Tony Kelly has brought, right?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah. This
controversy.
is oh my gosh, like this is gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody doesn't get KO'd or submitted because this is gonna.
Adrian
Yep.
Yanez, very, very good fighter, 15-3. Prince, he won on the Contender Series.
hmm
His next 4 fights in the UFC, KO head kick, KO punch, TKO punches, decision split.
Yep.
Performance of the night, performance of the night, performance of the night, fight of the night. He is 100% bonus rate in the UFC. That's unprecedented. I don't think anybody is that.
My
4
gosh.
in a row. That's $200,000 for this kid that 2 years ago was on the Contender Series.
My gosh, 28 years old and kicking head tops. Oh my gosh, this
Can
is
you imagine? Now he fights Tony Dirty Brazilians Kelly, and when I'm saying that, I'm copying him. This is the guy
Tony
that was okay. So
Primetime.
for people that don't understand, this was the guy that was in his girlfriend's corner, who is Andrea KGB Lee. Went through the controversy because he said, "You gotta beat her up. They're just dirty Brazilians. They cheat like that, right?" Like, you got to remember that's where this guy's from.
Mhm.
Okay, so he is what is he? He's 8-2 in his career,
Yep,
coming off 2
8-2.
wins in a row.
Won by TKO with Randy Costa.
Yeah.
And
one decision.
one decision, and I don't know. I don't think this is going to end well for him. I think Adrian's going to make a statement.
Yeah.
What at you?
For
Trying to figure out what's Adrian's background.
I believe he's Mexican, I want to say. He's from Houston, Texas. Nationality American.
Mm-hmm.
But his last name is Yanez. I don't know where his parents, but he's born in America.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Prince. Okay, so that's the main event of the prelim. So we're both picking Adrian Yanez.
Yep.
Okay.
But via knockout.
Yeah, knockout somewhere. So it's a finish for Adrian Yanez. In the main card, Julian Marquez is fighting. We haven't seen him fight since he beat our friend Sam Alvey.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he beat Sam Alvey, I do like that guy. He's fighting Gregory Rodriguez. You've got Damir Ismagulov versus Guram Kutatadledzi. Don't know those guys. Joaquin Buckley versus Albert Durev. Joaquin Buckley has stood us up many times and ghosted us. After booking time on the podcast, he then just ghosts us. Joaquin is the guy, if you recall, that brought our friend Commander Dale with him. Now, Prince, there is nothing online to suggest that he is bringing Dale with him again this fight.
No,
Are you mad at that?
I wish he did. I wish that was
think so.
Yeah, it would have been. You know how WWF they have like
a manager.
A manager. Why not?
Yeah.
Like Dale would be that manager, right? So I don't. It was too bad they didn't bring Dale back, right? So
Dale was a big part of his last fight. They played it up as though he was like a mental coach for him. Blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. I don't know why he's not coming this time. I don't like it. I think he should have been there, and for that reason, I think Albert Durev takes it.
Is going to take it. Yeah. Yeah. You see these small little details, guys. You don't.
These are the things.
These are the things that make a big difference.
Yeah, Prince. Next fight on the card is probably my main event. Kevin Trailblazer Holland versus Tim Dirty Bird Means.
He was
Prince
supposed to come on too, right?
Tim Means is coming on our podcast 100%. I've talked to him. Like we're good to go. It's just I didn't know he was fighting this weekend, so I never booked it in advance. So my apologies. This is a huge fight for him. When Tim Means beats Kevin Holland,
Wow.
I'm having Tim Means on the podcast. I'm going to invite him then just as a celebratory, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Tim Means is one of the goddamn greatest strikers in the UFC. A true veteran. He's a clean striker, beautiful striker. I say he beats Kevin Holland standing up.
Against Kevin Holland, like in his last fight against Alex Oliveira, knocked him out as well. So that's a bold prediction. Bold prediction.
So are you going with Kevin Holland?
Man, if we have Tim here next podcast, like I hope he doesn't like beat me up virtually or anything.
Well,
like
he
that.
won't be here until at least 4 weeks from now. So
okay, perfect. That gives me some time to like work out and get jacked. So I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna go with Kevin.
You're gonna go with Kevin Holland. He's won one of his last 4 fights, and the last guy you referenced him beating on his last fight is Cowboy Oliveira, who is 2 wins in his last 9. So, beating Alex Oliveira, although one of the greats, you're beating him on a losing skid in a bad time. I don't know. Kevin Holland technically hasn't really beaten anybody since December of 2020 when he beat Souza, alligator guy. I don't know, man.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen, right?
Anything can happen, but Tim Means is a true veteran. He's not going to play the games of Tim Means. He's not going to give a crap when Tim Means talks shit. He's gonna smash him. Tim Means all the way. Okay. Donald Cerrone versus Joe Lauzon. J-Lo.
I am gonna go with the Cowboy, baby, all the way. Cowboy. You know what? Again, I just love picking the legends, just because they're fighting their life out, right? I mean, they know that they're on their way out. They're probably gonna get cut soon, but there's always that drive, right? So for me, I'm going with Cowboy. How do you feel? I know
you're saying J-Lo is not a legend. J-Lo is a legend.
But compared to Cowboy, like, come on, we're talking.
J-Lo has had how many like Billboard Top 40 songs? She's now back with Ben Affleck. Different J-Lo? Different J-Lo.
Different J-Lo. It's more like J-La.
Well, it's J-Lo. Doesn't matter. I got J-Lo. I got J-Lo. Donald Cerrone has not looked good in a long time. I worry that he's just finishing out his contract. J-Lo as well as finishing out the contract, but I just feel like he might be a little bit fresher. He's going to take this to the ground as fast as possible. Oh boy. Okay. But I just pulled up J-Lo's record, like his last X number of fights. He's won 3 fights in his last 8. Oh boy. Okay. Well, whatever. Donald Cerrone.
Do you know how old he is? Like Donald Cerrone.
J-Lo?
Even J-Lo.
Donald Cerrone has not won since 2019. He's on a 5-fight losing streak plus 1 no contest. Yeah, J-Lo all the way on this. Wait, you're asking me Donald Cerrone's age?
Yeah.
38.
Oh wow, you're close. 39. And okay. Joe. Try and guess Joe's age.
J-Lo.
J-Law.
I mean, J-Lo is 50. I know that, right? Because she performed at the Super Bowl. Yeah. J-Lo is 36.
38.
Oh, okay. So he's up there too. He looks like a young lad. All right, Prince, I'm going with J-Lo. You've got Donald Cerrone. Main event time, Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett.
I say Kattar all the way.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
No
I know.
way. Not
You know
even
what?
close.
You know what? I mean, since he beat Giga, I've got I've got high expectations for him now.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna do it, man. I think he's, I remember that fight, and yeah, it would surprise a lot of people, right? They weren't expecting for him to take it, but he did. And I know Josh Emmett, he's just
Josh Emmett, he's team alpha male.
he's a
Trains with,
monster, man.
trains with our friend Ricky Tercios. He's like massive power, big hitter. He's on a 4-fight win streak, beating Michael Johnson, Mirsad Bektik, Shane Burgos, and Dan Ige. Those are big fights this dude is
Yep.
winning. No. Emmett gets it done.
You know what? I'm riding the Kelvin train. I'm
No
riding
way.
that wave. He's gonna take it.
Since you're 100% incorrect.
He took
All
out
right.
Yep.
No, sorry to cut you off. We're running short on time here. That's why. Prince, that is it for UFC Fight Night Kattar versus Emmett. We had a wonderful time with Lucky Lauren.
Oh my
I'm
god.
so glad that she came on. Prince, she's so cool, right? Like so real.
No, like so real, so
She
inspirational.
gets
Some of the things,
6 atomweights at a time.
6 stacked on top of each other. Like they could
Form a Voltron.
Voltron, yeah, a massive
Yeah.
Voltron,
Atomweight.
and she would still beat them.
Still beat him. That's pretty amazing, man.
Yeah.
Prince, what a cool person. This was a good podcast. I enjoyed this one. I was panicking that she wasn't going to come. For people that are still listening, she was 30 minutes late, man. 30 minutes. Do you understand the sweat and pressure we had thinking that this wasn't going to happen? So, Prince, this podcast is in the books. Next week, Jenna Bishop, and that is 100% guaranteed because we already did the interview. So that's always good when we say that. Prince, anything to say?
No, we're good, guys. So again, don't forget, follow, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, listen to us on Spotify. All right, everybody, and stay tuned. We got more amazing guests to come.
Yeah, man. See ya, buddy.
See ya.